Hello everyone. So it's finally a new month and you guys know what that means. We finally have a new gacha revenue summary. I think this is only for mobile, of course, but we finally have a new gacha revenue summary for the previous month, that is of May. And this one is very interesting because everyone already knows, we have the new hit game Wuthering Waves by Kuro Games, the same developers that did Punishing Gray Raven, a game that I actually really like. I did stop playing it some time ago, but I still really enjoyed it. In any case, let's actually take a look at this now, shall we? Honkai Impact, Star Rail, still in first place, which is incredibly surprising. It did go a little bit below on the month of May. This is in China, by the way. We do need to take that into account. In China, they did go a little bit below, but it's still a huge amount of money. It's ridiculous. And somehow Naruto Mobile, which I didn't even know it was an actual game, increased by a lot. Also in China. I didn't know they had a Naruto gacha in China making this amount of money. What is this game anyway? I have no idea what the game is actually like. I have no idea what the gameplay is like, but I guess it's really popular in China, which is surprising. Solo Leveling, of course, also did release kinda recently and already making so much money. When did Solo Leveling come out? It was before Wuthering Waves. I think it was around in the middle of the month. So just in half a month they did so much money. It's ridiculous. I wasn't really too big of a fan of the game. I do like the anime a lot. The game looks cool, I'm not gonna lie, but some stuff about the game just looks kinda clunky. I do know that loading screens do take a lot of time apparently, which is really annoying. I do hope they fix that, even though I'm not actually planning on playing the game, but still it would be cool if they actually fix that. A thing that I didn't really like about is the menu design, and it just looks kinda ugly. I know it's a kind of a weird thing to complain about, but for me that kind of stuff does actually matter quite a bit. Holy shit, Arknight. What happened to Arknights in China? I think the Chinese server is like, what, 9 months ahead? But Jesus Christ, what happened? They went from 8 million to 35 million in 1 month. That's ridiculous. Did they release like some kind of really broken character or something like that? Like, if you guys play on the Chinese server, just let me know, I guess, if you can. But goddamn, I really want to know what actually happened. I'm actually quite curious. Jesus Christ, $35 million all of a sudden. Insane. They went up 12 places. Jesus Christ. Anyway, now we're moving on to Honkai Star Rail in global, only making, quote unquote only, making 35 million. It is kind of below on the usual amount, which is surprising because Robin came out last month, right? And Robin is an amazing character, so I expected it to actually make way more money than this. It's still, of course, a lot of money, but I expected more. I think before Robin, so in April, was Acheron, right? And yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense, making so much more money because Acheron is completely busted. But Robin also is incredibly strong. I kind of expected way more money from Honkai during May just because of Robin. And she is incredibly popular, you know. I guess now with, what's his face, Boot Hill and Firefly coming out, maybe, especially with Firefly, I do believe a lot of people do like Firefly a lot, me included really, but maybe with those characters this actually goes up by quite a bit. Love and Deep Space, I have no idea what this is, and for some reason it makes so much money. I keep seeing this game on the top places during the gacha revenue charts, and so ridiculously successful, really. Like, it keeps making so much more money. Let me see. Yeah, like, it keeps January 28th, February 44th. Jesus Christ, what is this game all about? It definitely looks like an otome game. I didn't know otome games were that popular in China, I guess. Jesus, I should really take a look at this, just to see what the craze is all about. Now, Genshin Impact in China from 82 million to 30 million. Things are looking kinda bad for Genshin, I'm not gonna lie. And this is just China, by the way. Oh, we can see in global it's at 23 million. It's been going down for so much. Jesus. I mean, people have been complaining about the game. Genshin these days, it's really boring. Like, it keeps doing the same thing, the same really underwhelming events, the same completely garbage side stories, to be honest, with event stories that really aren't that amazing. I have no idea how people still put up with that, but Jesus. I mean, it's still, of course, a lot of money. 23 million is, by no accounts, a little amount of money. It's still a lot, but for Genshin standards, it's of course really low. I do know they did release a new, or are going to release a new endgame mode. I don't really play Genshin anymore these days. Only play for the main Archon stories. Of course, I'm not gonna even try this new game mode, but I do know they're gonna release a new one. But they didn't really look that amazing. It looked pretty, that's for sure, but the details of the actual game mode, it was kind of whatever, really. But I don't know, maybe I'll try it, who knows. I'll just take a look at it and see what's actually all about and whatnot. In any case, moving on to Nikke, funnily enough, making the exact same amount of money as last month. I mean, April, the month before the last month. Still not used to being in June. I don't know if I'm the only one, probably not. But yeah, Nikke is still doing a lot. It's an incredible game, of course, with incredible waifus. Well, I don't really think it's an incredible game, but I don't really like the gameplay, but Jesus Christ, the girls are quite something, that's for sure. And I bet having the new bunny girls, it's gonna make the game make so much more money. Holy, I've seen some of the bunny girl outfits that have been released recently, and Jesus Christ, they are killing it with those outfits, with those designs, I mean. It's incredible. It really makes me want to go back to the game, but I really am not big of a fan of the gameplay, so unfortunately I really tried liking Nikke, and I really wish I could like Nikke, because I do really like the story even is amazing, and the characters of course are beautiful, but I just can't put up with the gameplay, man. It's just not for me. I really wish it was a different kind of game, to be honest. Moving on, Fate Grand Order, still making so much. Jesus, of course still in Japan. It's incredibly popular in Japan, that's why it makes so much still. How old is FGO? It came out in 2015. It's closing in 9 years. Jesus Christ, and it's still making so much. It really surprises me. It always surprises me how much FGO is so popular in Japan. I did play FGO for a really long time. Don't really play it that much anymore, but I really do want to go back to it because I do still like the game, to be honest. But yeah, damn, still killing it, amazing, incredible. And now finally, what we've all been waiting for, Wuthering Waves, China by the way, making $13 million in the first week of the game. It was, the game released on the 22nd, so it was like a little bit over a week, so maybe a week and a few, like 3 days maybe, and already making 13 million just in China. This is actually ridiculous, and people were saying, oh, Wuthering Waves is gonna fail. I don't know why people were thinking that. It didn't really make too much sense. A lot of people were talking about the game. A lot of people were really excited to actually play the game and finally quit Genshin. Like, Jesus Christ, I've seen so many posts on Twitter just of people just quitting Genshin altogether just because of Wuthering Waves. So yeah, I am not sure why people thought it was gonna fail. It was so obvious it was not gonna fail, especially because of all the pre-registrations. They did like, what, 32 million pre-registrations? It's ridiculous. It was like a ridiculous number. And if you want to make like a speculation or estimate of how much money they would make on the first month, since this is just like on the first week, it would be like around, what, 13 times 4? I have no idea. It's around $52 million or something like that. Some quick maths. I'm not sure if I'm right, but a little bit of the same of Honkai in China, and way more than Honkai in global and Genshin in global and China. Like just on the first month. It's actually ridiculous. I'm really excited actually to see how much they'll actually make during this month, the month of June, and see how much they actually make. I really think they might just surpass Genshin for this month, man. I really don't think that's like too much to expect. It feels super realistic. We might see Wuthering Waves for the month of June to be like one of the top 3 games of the gacha revenue of the month. And of course, for global, they also make almost the same amount of money, around $11 million. And this, I think, is just mobile games on the mobile app. So it's not even taking into account the PC version, which I think might be where most people play, to be honest. I'm not sure. Of course, in China or Japan, people do play way more on their mobile phones. So maybe the player base is more focused on the mobile section, but I'm not really sure. But in any case, they still make a lot of money. And I'm so happy for Kuro Games, because I do know apparently they were running out of budget near the launch of the game. So this will help them a lot, and hopefully they'll fix all the bugs the game has so far. Jesus Christ, I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a bug that literally makes the game 10 times slower, but your characters actually move normally, which is ridiculous. It's literally a game-breaking bug. It's incredibly stupid. But yeah, hopefully they fix all the wrong things, and nothing else that's actually bad for the game will actually happen. Hopefully. The launch has been a little bit tough, but so far they are doing an amazing job, and they are actually listening to the player base, which is incredible. So guys, be sure to actually use the feedback button in the game menu and tell them what you actually want for the game. And I guess also doing posts on Reddit or on Twitter probably also helps. I'm guessing they are checking that kind of stuff, but I'm not sure, of course. But of course, congratulations to Kuro Games for making such a successful game on just the first week. Now let's go through some of the other games on the top here on the list. Reverse 1999 still making a lot of money, which I'm actually kind of surprised. I remember playing the game. It was alright. It was an alright game. This is just China, of course. But yeah, the game was actually quite cool. I did like the art style and the voice acting being like British. It was funny. But yeah, I did eventually get a little bit bored of the game, but it was still kind of a neat game. The story was actually also quite interesting. Uma Musume is still making so much in Japan. It's so funny how popular this game still is. I really do hope they make an English version, but I'm honestly kinda losing hope for that, because the game has been out for a really long time by now, so I kinda doubt they will actually bother with an English version. Blue Archive still as popular as ever, of course. Arc Knights in Japan also very popular. 6 million is not little by any means. Azure Lane, of course. Well, I do remember seeing the new skins they released for summer or something like that, the swimsuit skins. Snowbreak, of course, going with the lewd route, making them make even more money than they were making before. And FGO here on global, still very popular actually. It's actually quite surprising how popular FGO still is, even in global. Of course, Arc Knights again in global still very popular. It's so surprising how Arc Knights is still living. I really thought the game would die eventually, but surprisingly enough, it's still going pretty hard. Blue Archive, of course, also very popular. The Phantom X Persona 5 gacha game went down by a stupid amount. Holy shit. What happened? I know this game, it's only out in China. Eventually they will release it in global, and I can't wait to actually try it, but damn, what happened? The game does look amazing. It just looks like Persona 5 really, but I guess it's just a gacha game. And FGO in Japan also going down by a lot. Jesus, 30 places and 26 places. Insane. And of course, now looking at Princess Connect, they actually went up by quite a bit the last month, which is so good because, of course, it's the game I actually mainly cover. So it's actually so nice still seeing the game being so successful, even after being released for such a long time. I think it's still on the 6th anniversary, so 7th on the next year. But even though it's still doing very well, it shot up during the anniversary because of the new characters, but it's still going quite high. I'm not sure why it went high last. Oh, Anemone was released, of course. She is right now one of the most broken characters in the game. So yeah, it's not surprising they made so much money because of that. But yeah, and I think that's basically it. I don't think there's any other games worth mentioning besides these. Of course, I guess they're still Punishing Raven here in China, making a lot of money. I don't think in global they make that much money, unfortunately, but it is what it is, of course. But yeah, that's really it for the gacha revenue for the month of May. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, as always, thank you so much for the memberships. I really do appreciate them very much. And I'll see you guys on the next video.